But then we go to a special pre-taped feature on Dominik Mysterio, who has inherited the dark room
He's
designed
renting
for,
it from Miro.
yes, for we got Dominik here to take over. I've only ever been known as the son of the legendary Rey Mysterio, but all that changed at Clash because for the first time in my life, I felt alive. I became my own person. I was done taking the disrespect and just bottling it up inside. Ed, you got exactly what you deserved. Tonight, I'm going to finish what I started. Jefe, Dad, I know you're disappointed, but that's too bad because this is my life, not yours. Instead of being upset with me, you should look in the mirror and ask why. Why you never bothered to just get to know me. You think you know me? Instead of teaching, just ask me what I wanted for my career. But for a tiny, tiny man, I died at this line. Calling your father a tiny, tiny man. You cast a large shadow, and I'm done living under it. And then Rhea comes in, whispers in his ear, and he says, I'm not your baby boy anymore. I'm a man. And this, I'm only hoping is, because they were hitting it so hard, I hope it's his new tagline. I'm a man.
I like it. I'm a man.
A real man's man. Dominik Mysterio.
This is the most we've gotten out of the heel Dominic character speaking wise, and I enjoyed the delivery. It is a little different from his old voice, you know. Yes, he still sounds very much like a 12-year-old, but now he's a 12-year-old trying to sound like a 13-year-old. And I think he can't help but sound this way. But I also feel like they're embracing that aspect of the performance. A line like I'm a man. I mean, it sounds like he's basically saying, I'm not a baby. I'm a big boy. You know, it's that same type of like energy. And I love it. I love it. I think the role for Rhea playing sort of like the corruptor
I
is
think
great
Rhea
for
is
her.
awesome in
Yeah.
this whole thing. Like she to me has emerged as like the leader of the group. Like she feels like the one pulling all the strings.
At least with this project, you know, with the Dominic project. Yeah. I mean, we've taken Rhea out of the women's division for now, but this is a great way to, I would argue, like increase her star power even more so than, you know, just having her in the mix of another challenger for Bianca Belair, for instance. That'll come. But for now, I think this is a great role for her. I don't know. Do you get the sense they're insinuating anything more going on between like Rhea or Dominic, or is this strictly just like, you know, somebody like,
I don't think they're
influencing?
really hinting in that direction. I think it's more just a control that Rhea has over Dominic. Like they
Mhm.
certainly are not indicating like going that direction.
But I find it very interesting, and I look forward to hearing you recap more and more of these.
Well, I've got to say, for this is a personal thing. His pacing is very good. Like in terms of just transcribing, he delivers at a very solid pace. Like
Hmm.
one of the best, to be honest.
Oh, lovely.
So if he's gonna give me these speeches every week, I'm ready. Dominik Mysterio's main event against Edge, with Rhea Ripley in the corner. Dom is out to new music, and if you watch his mannerisms as he gets onto the turnbuckle and is slapping like he's just doing Eddie. Like that's the template.
Mm.
And if anyone calls him out on it, it's like I guess it makes sense. He's just copying Eddie. It's like just do Eddie when you're out there as best as
I
you can.
mean, you learn from the best, of course, and I think he would have reason to, being the legitimate child of the man.
Edge just destroys this man at the beginning. You wanted this, Dom. And Rhea's reminding Dominik that Ray cared more about Edge than you. So go kick his ass. It was not working. Edge is just destroying him, throws him into steps. Finally, it's Rhea that gets the offense in on Edge by chop blocking his bad injured knee from last week. And Dom rams it into the steps. We come back. Dom is in control here. And then Rhea holds onto Dom's ankle, preventing a superplex. And Dom hits a frog splash for a 2 count. And Edge hits the Impaler DDT. Crowd gets to their feet as he signals for the spear. And as he goes for it, Dominik counters by rolling into the single leg crab. Something that I'm sure was taught to him
Former,
by one Lance Evers.
he's a former Storm Wrestling Academy student there,
This was
so
a cool spot to
nice little
insert in there.
reference.
Yes.
Yeah, you thought Eddie was the only person? Okay, he's mimicking. Listen,
Yes.
okay, they're two charisma gods in our industry. One is Eddie Guerrero, the other is Lance Storm. Well, honestly speaking, two great teachers he would have had.
As the saying goes, success has many fathers.
Yes.
Edge powers out of the single leg crab into a cradle, then ties Dominik into the ropes. He's delivering strikes, and he goes to spear him when Ray, just like Dexter Loomis's his way in here, just poof, out of like thin air he appears, and he gets in the way. Edge pushes Ray off, and they start arguing when Damian Priest appears, yanking out Ray and tossing him onto the desk. Finn runs in, attacking Edge for the DQ at 15:10, and Rhea hits Edge with a chair shot to the bad knee, hands it to Dominik, and Dominik repeatedly hits the knee with the chair. And they elevate the leg of Edge onto the chair for Finn to deliver the ultimate coup de grace onto this leg as Judgment Day is booed. And Jimmy Smith says, "A disgusting family photo," as they boo, and says, "Looks like Dominik has a new family now."
Yeah, that is right. I have no doubt that coup de grace was perfectly safe, but God, it looked devastating. Like we usually see guys like do the Pillmanizing thing, like doing using the chair, but like when the knee is elevated and you just see a guy's like jump with his feet onto the knee, like it just felt so much more devastating. I thought overall, like the storytelling was really successful in this match. I thought the crowd engagement was really strong because the build up to it has been really strong. Edge, I found awesome in this role, just as like this towering monster. Like he size wise, he's so much bigger than Dominik, and he had a reason to play, the monster in this match, completely golfing. Like he's a Hall of Famer versus his friend's son, who's like tiny, still a bit of a rookie, and so he completely dominated.
Which is really tough dynamic to get across when you've got like that. Like in this one, you're
But
right.
worked.
Like it works. It works for like this story of like Edge, and so I would say like with Dominik, like this match to me was very much. It was laid out the way it should have been. Like I think Dominik going 15 minutes is. That's a really tough ask of him at this point.
It's Rhea is the difference maker. Rhea is as a big part of the act as Dominik himself is, and she was the competent one, really kind of serving up the advantage for him to continue onwards. But I think Dom did a decent job wrestling a more heelish style. There's still, I think, a lot to be desired for him to like feel like a fully fleshed out person. But like right now, it's like I don't think he's supposed to feel like a fully fleshed heel. He's supposed to be, again, a 12-year-old trying to look like he's 13. And
they were smart in the sense that like you did have this knee injury, but it like this match, like having Edge sell for most of this match, I think it would have been really tough to watch for
without Rhea.
Without Rhea, but also like a lot of this, like Edge took like the whole first half of this match and then a lot of the last half of it. Like it was just like Rhea like got the heat temporarily and Dominik worked over the knee. And I think it was just enough until they kind of shifted the focus back onto Edge, because it's a tough visual watching Dominik kind of handle this man who just is like, one is just like towers over this guy. It's like, to me, it's a tough visual.
It is, yeah, which is, I guess, so, which is why they're so reliant on having the extra people around to really help Dominik get up there. I like the fact that like they left a lot of the physical attacks for Dominik a bit more like they didn't really do it as much last week as they did this week, because it made this week feel like that much more impactful. This week felt like he fully turned to the dark side. And I continue to really enjoy like Rey Mysterio's role in this, like being sort of stressed father torn between the best friend and the son. He, I think, continues to do a very good job.
Yeah, and you have kind of Edge and Rey getting like at odds as well at the end of this. I like the drama that they are creating here. It's like I can see people really getting into this story. It's like your week to week soap opera. It's not just we'll figure out what we're doing next week and we're just going to do this endless cycle of rematches between all of them. Like it seems like there is a progression to this story. Each week Dominik has now fallen, like he is now locked in with the Judgment Day, and I think it's good to have this kind of week to week kind of episodic story that they have going on.
I would argue like every wrestling feud should feel like this, like
should.
like an actual like believable character motivations for every single participant involved. Rather than just I don't know, a series of like you beat me and I beat
The New
you.
Day and Viking Raiders.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, this is like it has been good so far. I'm not saying this match was excellent. I don't even think like match quality wise it was that special, other than just the idea to see like Dominic perform as a heel for the first time, Edge in a very dominant role. But I think the storytelling is what stands out to me the most, and I think it's strong.